All right, good afternoon, Rhinos. Happy Wednesday. So happy to be here. Oh, let me get my water. Because I'm gonna probably be talking a little bit. As you can see, I haven't even taken my water yet, and it's like 2 o'clock because I haven't left my desk yet. All right. Get in. Super cool. This is the most we've had in the beginning so far. And I say that every time I'm live. And I promise you, it's not me just like saying it. Everyone's been so growy, if that even makes sense. Let's see. Looking for someone special. Right, give me one moment. Hey, Frida. All right. All right, and bear with me. We are just playing with this a little. Oh, Abigail's in the house. So she's muted, but everyone could see all of us. I wonder if I could get rid of this video. No, I guess we'll just have a 3-person view for the moment. Abigail, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Totally cool. All right, so I'm just welcoming everyone in. So bear with me. Let's see, because I also want to pull something up. Oh, okay. Why am I so bad at this? All right. So Abigail, I'm going to make you co-host. I think that should solve that.
There we go.
Whoa, look who it is, live and in person. So, wow, she would say.
Wow.
All right. Let me just make sure I'm pulling up what I need to pull up. All right. So people always hear me say la. Like I'm constantly la. It's really my thinking voice, as sad as that sounds. Because apparently when I'm thinking, I'm just saying la. Like, welcome to Rhino. All right. So, because this morning when I sent out the email, I went ahead and put together a whole list of things we are going to get to today. And as such, I want to make sure that I'm looking at it so I can keep myself organized. And the last topic, which is save the best for last, but we're going to start with it because it is the best, so we're going to go to it, is Miss Abigail, who this is her last week with Rhino. Well, let me rephrase that. She's Rhino for life, but we always have a saying within Rhino, where give me the 1.0 version so we can build it and make it better. And I think Abigail 1.0'd us, which is amazing because we get to go ahead and see her do such more passion projects to her. And I'm going to open it up to her to let her kind of detail where that is. But it's not out of surprise. Abigail and I talk every day. So for the last 2 weeks, we've been building up to this. So we've kind of been hastily trying to reach out to everyone. What's your zip code? What do we need to do for your sites? Getting back to a lot of emails. And for everyone to know, that's a very overwhelming task. So if anyone hasn't got the response in a timely fashion that they are acquainted to, it's totally my fault because Abigail's too kind to say it, but over this last 2 weeks, I've given like this much work every day, like come on. And she's done such a phenomenal job eating most of it, which is, such Abigail fashion. But yeah, so Abigail, who is like, when we brought her on, the first thing she said was, I'm never getting on a live. And then I remember she was sitting next to me and she's like, she called me from Staples because anyone that worked for me knows, oh, go get the best computer, get this, get that, because we want you to be at your best. She's like, so should I get the computer camera? Do you remember that? And I started cracking up and I was like, you already know what I'm going to say. And she's like, oh, I knew you were going to say that, but I didn't. So I guess I'm on board. And now, in terms of all the time she's been on, to go ahead and talk about something that's passionate and, hey, I'm moving on. I'm super excited to see her face turn red. So Abigail, go for it.
Hey everyone. Hi, hello, bonjour. I just wanted to come on here and I wanted to say hello to everybody again, but I also have to say goodbye. So I've been with Rhino for some time now, and when I told Anthony about it, I'll tell you all what I told him. It's been a really, really beautiful journey to be here with everybody, to help see how much Rhino has grown in this time. It's been such a joy and such a challenge for me to continue growing and growing and growing. And one of the things that I said to Anthony during my interview, and something he would often remind me of, is, hey, you said all you wanted to do was be challenged and grow and learn all the things you didn't know how to do, right? And so I have learned many, many things that I never thought I would know how to do. And so it's been a joy, and it's been really beautiful experience to be able to see all of you guys and see your shops come up and start to blossom. But I guess I should tell you why I am leaving Rhino. So, it was something that I was thinking on a little bit for a while. My heart is with my community, with my people. Last week, I guess it was almost 2 weeks ago now, I went out on a little bit of a drive, and I was supposed to just go to Minnesota and South Dakota to meet with some elders. For those who don't know, I am Indigenous. My tribe is Little Traverse Bay Band. So when I say Buju, that's Anishinaabe. It's me saying hello. And so I went on this journey, and I went on this drive. I had meetings with the elders, and the thing for us is when they ask you to show up, you show up. And so I did, and really seeing, in some ways, a lot of the hardships that my people are facing, really seeing a lot of the ways in which I can serve them. On the drive home, and in driving, I wound up, I drove up, I went to Michigan to see my family. And then I went out to Minnesota, and I had, a total of 60 hours of driving in about a, 5-day span. And it became very clear to me that I have to answer this calling to serve my people. And help them, learn all these things. And we were talking with Anthony, this isn't our last project together. He may be working with me with some other community projects, and, some of the work that I'm going off to do may be uplifted by you all, by the Rhino community, and just really hoping to help others understand, financial education, learn different healing modalities, movement, energy work, there's a lot of healing that has to happen. And so that's why I have to leave Rhino at this point. And it's been a really hard decision to make. But I have to answer that calling, because it's something, you get something, it's just so deep inside you, and you can't get it out of your head. You can't let go. And so that's what I'll be going off to do. Will be I'm working with a couple different other folks. We're talking about building sustainable housing developments for some of our unhoused relatives and family members. There's a whole lot of poverty among, Native people. And there's a lot of hurt and a lot of healing. And so it's an honor to be able to go off and to do that. And, I always talk to y'all about heart song. I'm like, what is your heart song saying? And I realized that, as many times as I ask that question, I don't always stop to listen to what mine is saying. And then when I did, it became really clear. And so Anthony's been really gracious and helping me get everything, solidified. And we've had, many conversations over the last 2 weeks about what a partnership, between Rhino and my personal work could look like moving forward. And so, you will probably see me again. I'm hoping maybe I'll come back in a couple weeks and be able to tell y'all a little bit more about what we're doing. And so, yeah, that's kind of it. Have you considered staying connected remotely? I'm just looking at the questions, and yeah, Deborah, I have thought about staying on and working remotely, but to be completely candid with you all, when I'm with my people, I need to have full presence with them. I need to have full presence. I need to be able to devote my entire body, mind, and spirit. And so, this is the path that I have to go. And so I don't think it would be fair if I stayed on, because I know myself, and I know that I would not be able to, deliver in a really, fantastic way that you all deserve. And so yeah, so that's why I have to go. I know that some of you all are, waiting on some websites. There's a couple of you that I've been, in contact with. And so I will be emailing you all more this week. And so that we can go ahead and wrap those up. Anthony and I have talked about the possibility, if they're not completed this week, what that looks like and how I can continue to help, uplift that and facilitate that process. So we are having conversations about that. And we are, figuring out the best way to make sure that we deliver on our promise to you. So Anthony and I will still be in touch, to make sure that everything that we want to give to you all, we can. On a note of business though, if y'all have submitted your website and you do know it is on Rhino Street, if you could email me with your website URL and the zip code so that I can go ahead and update that, because our development team has been working really, really hard to get Rhino Street up to date and, complete. And so I'm sure Anthony will speak to that later. So I guess I'll ask, I feel complete on, saying my goodbye for now, but if a couple minutes, I know Anthony has a lot to go through and show y'all today, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I can definitely answer them now. Feel free to, send me an email. I'm trying, you all know that I'm trying so hard. So we don't really have a word for goodbye. So we just say, kind of until next time, because there's not really goodbye. It's so final. And there's no belief for us in anything that's like so concrete as goodbye. And so when we say it, it's real final. You only say that when somebody passes. And since I am alive and well, we'll just say until next time. And yeah, Deborah, okay, so I will go ahead and put my email somewhere. Shalom, yeah, Frida, that would probably be the closest. We would say Gigawabaman, which is like until next time, and so yeah, okay, I will definitely talk to Anthony about sending out an email and where you can connect. I do have my Rhino Facebook page, so I'll find the link and he can go ahead and share that. I'll try to post updates with you, but I am on like Twitter and social media and things, causing a ruckus, trying to create good trouble, talk about different social justice issues, education about different things, but I don't know that that's what's that's not quite appropriate for a Rhino Live now. So we can always talk about that another time, but yeah, put community businesses on Rhino. I will, yeah, I'm sure Anthony and I will work something out like that. We're still in, early stages of what that looks like.
No, totally cool. And it's so funny because when you joined the team, you would never imagine in a million years you would do like a 10-minute soliloquy of like, saying see you later and all the rest, which I love. Like I just sat back. I'm like, oh.
I know, yeah. It's
because when Abigail started her interview, she was late for, like stumbled up the stairs, like I don't know where to go. And she'll always say, I had the worst interview. She went home and shared with her family, like, I'm not getting that job. Like I had the worst interview ever. And on top of being the worst, like Abigail didn't know I was going to hire her from the beginning because I had seen her website and I saw the things that she did. And I was like, this is a really great 1.0. Like she's in it. And so when I hired a couple of team members during her hiring stint, I messaged her and I was like, okay, let me know or something. And she didn't respond. So I called her. No, I didn't message her. I called her and she didn't pick up. The only person who didn't pick up. So my wife and I are in the car. We're leaving the mall. We just had dinner. And she's like, so how'd you like the dinner? I was like, I don't like anything till Abigail picks up the phone and accepts this job. So I called Abigail on speaker while we're leaving the parking lot of the mall. And she's like, oh, I didn't know. I was having dinner with my family and didn't see the phone ring. I was like, that's great. Are you with us or not? And she's like, yeah, for sure. I was like, okay, thank you. Bye. And that's like a total true story. She started here and we had RC still and a couple other team members. And Abigail was my right hand from day one. So she actually sat in this office while everyone else sat in the other office. And the other members got to kind of like gel as a team a little bit just by proximity. So when they would leave or when they would come in, I wanted Abigail to be one of like gelled with everyone. And I was like, Abigail would be like, okay, I'm heading out now. I was like, can you go to the office next door and say goodbye? She's like, I'm not a heathen. Of course I'd say goodbye. And like our relationship was like, Abigail, can you go say good morning to them today? Can you, And it was just so much fun. And to the point of how much each person helped the other. When Abigail started, I think we had just did Rhino Digital. And then we had the idea for the app and Rhino Traffic and Rhino University. And Abigail's a designer by birth or whatever, right? Like by job, what's it called? By design, whatever.
No,
And
I was born using Adobe Photoshop and
yeah,
Illustrator.
like that was like her superpower. And how many sites did we go through? Did we not change it every 3 days? You would be like,
Oh yeah.
I get it, but everything we did yesterday, you're changing. And I'm like, I know, we just got to keep going. So keep going. And she's like, great. So should I make this live yet? And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And it was just fun time. And then she's like, oh, by the way, and anytime Abigail had to ask for something, she'd get like this Abigail voice, like, so, by the way, and I'm like, what? She's like, well, we bought a house. I was like, oh, it's amazing. Good. She's like, it's in like New York. She's like, can I work remotely? And I was like, of course. Like, you're like, you know me and you know that we're just goal oriented. As long as you get to the goals, I'm fine, because as she feels about her community is, and she'll tell you, like, this isn't like an act. Anthony is Rhino. I was like I text Abigail at 3 a.m. She'll text me back at 7 a.m. She's like, I'm not dead, just waking up. And that's a text from this morning. And I'm like, oh, that's really great because I need you to do this, this, and this. So please don't die. But going forward in the future, so because we've come so far and we've learned so much together, and for the that Abigail's moving on, they're all Rhino. Like we, if anyone from Rhino moves on and serves their own community because what they learned or whatever the case may be, that's a moment for us where we're like, that's amazing. We champion that. And I know Abigail's goals, and some of it she's not sharing out loud because it's kind of like hush hush, which is fine, like the things that she's going to be doing and how she's doing them. But if she even completes 10% of her goals, she's going to be such a smashing success. Keep a relationship with, because A, she's Rhino for life, but B, if we move in parallel direction on different train paths, then it's not Anthony and Abigail today. It might be like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs down the road. So you will see a lot of her. We do different charities every month. I don't know what's a more near and dear charity than some of the stuff that she's doing. So there will be plenty of that, but I want to say that out loud because usually when people move on from companies, it's like, don't steal my customers, right? But we don't have customers. I don't charge anyone for anything. They're not. We're doing our best to give. So if anyone ever gets an email from Abigail, just know that I trust her heart, and whatever the email says, I don't ever believe it's taking advantage of relationships. So we will see her many, many times. Not every day, thank God. We couldn't be lucky enough to get rid of her, FYI. Sometimes you just gotta roll with it. So cool. So Abigail, I'm totally gonna kick you off, and I will give you the last 15 to 20 seconds.
Amazing. So I know a couple of you guys asked how you can stay in touch. I put my personal website in the comments. It's abigailmaismith.com. That's where I post a lot of like my stuff. Before I came to Rhino, I did personal websites. So that's kind of what it is there. It's, linked to some of the art that I do and some of the outside work and causes that I support. That's probably the best way to reach me because I don't really always check social media. I will probably be doing updated blog posts at some point. I don't know. Everybody's saying you got to be doing a blog and TikTok, and I don't know about that one. So, so you'll see. But anyway, yeah. So I just wanted to say, just again, thank you. And anybody, you're more than welcome to reach out via my personal website. I will have my Rhino email probably through this week and until all of our Rhino projects are completed. This is my last reminder. If you have a website and you're on Rhino Street, please, please, please send me your website link and please send me your zip code. I want to make sure to go out with a bang. And yeah, so I'll just say miigwech, which is thank you. And until next time, peace, y'all.
Oh man, that was a great 15 seconds, let me tell you.
Bye, Anthony. Bye.
Now we're gonna end it like Abigail and I end every conversation. All right, I'm over this. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right, totally cool. So actually, let me press this so I could see myself. I told my wife the secret to being able to do these lives is that I'm actually talking to myself. And she laughs at that because she's like, Anthony, like, I'm not surprised. I'm like, when the screen goes black, I don't really know like what I'm doing. So, all right, so we have some things to touch on, and that's the, Abigail's, check that off our list in a good way, right? So let's actually go to, sorry. So we've been telling you that we have a Rhino commercial that's being videoed as we speak. We just got the first cut sent to us, in which case we had a list of edits we were sending back. In fact, that list is kind of like improving 75, 80% of it, but like we always say, you have to start off at 1.0, then go 2, then go 3. So what you're going to view now, no one's viewed it yet, except for Abigail, and it is the 1.0 version. Within 2 or 3 days, we're gonna have the 2.0 version, in which case I'm going to further cut into a 3.0 30-second video. But you get a certain sense of what it looks like. So I wanna share that with everyone. And I say share, but it's all of ours, right? So here it is. All right. Let's move this. Okay. So if everyone's with me, let's make this big screen. And I believe it's 2 minutes long, so here we go.
Here on Rhino Street, we know you're a superhero. You're teleporting every morning. You're in bed.
You're in yoga.
You're now showering. You're now transforming.
You're waking your kids. You're dressing your kids.
You're making breakfast. You're making lunch. You're kissing them goodbye. You're waving I love you.
You're invincible every day. Your traffic can't slow you.
Your coworkers can't stop you.
Your boss can't lose you.
Your lunch only pauses you. You're rolling more on you.
Your schedule plays tricks on you. Your workday doesn't exhaust you.
You see your future every night. Your children outside playing. Your wife inside singing.
Your family together eating. Your heart is present. Your mind is years ahead.
Your idea will be a huge success. Your future is now. You need to protect your community.
Wall Street companies own your search engines. Wall Street companies pay trillions for your search results.
Wall Street companies are bankrupting your community.
Wall Street companies give money to politicians. Wall Street companies then control your community.
Superheroes search their community.
Superheroes buy from their community. Superheroes rescue their community.
Superheroes rebuild their community.
Superheroes are their community.
RhinoStreet.com. 20-mile radius. Search your community first.
All right. So that is, let's stop the share for a moment. All right. So there are some things that we do need to improve with that video. One, before it was ever given to us, we were told that the voice is off because each scene, the voice needs to be originated from the person in the scene's voice, right? So a male sounds different than a female. Oh, hold on. Good start, thank you. A male sounds different than a female, and different categories of people sound different than other categories of people. So that needs to, that's still in progress. Also, the colors of all the scenes has not been meshed together yet. That's just kind of chopped and put together. Our input was the Wall Street logos. We're going to get rid of them because a couple of things. One, we don't want to start an offering by our marketing strategy being it's us versus them, right? Because that strategy only allows you to win the people that already believe in you. It does not allow you to win the ordinary person because the ordinary person doesn't like to be in battles, right? So I don't think anyone would knowingly say, okay, I want to go support that company who's going to take on Apple and Facebook and Google. Because by definition of that sentence, that's not a good bet, right? Like, we're not going to beat those people. So I want to get rid of all of the Wall Street logos and simply just say Wall Street's companies. And we're describing that scene a little bit better because the reality is Wall Street company, so Wall Street search engines are for profit, which means the search results that they show are either super large companies that fit their algorithm and or companies that afford to pay them to buy being a result, which means by default, any person that searches a Wall Street search engine will get the search results of those companies, meaning Wall Street is effectively buying your searches and selling them, but they're buying it for zero because the search engine's free, except you're the product. That's the problem. So they go ahead and turn you into the product. So they buy your search results for zero, and then they sell it for $2, $3, $4 in large 1,000, 2,000 million data sets. Meaning your search results will never be on with any regularity your own Main Street. Meaning that the Main Street companies, the community companies that actually are the building blocks and spine of your existence really, will always be depressed, will always be needy, will always have a ceiling, but more importantly, additional companies, the new ones, will never even be thought of being created. For instance, Lou's Shoe Shop, his family's been making shoes for 100 years and he has just the right way of doing it, but his business is really built on that customer service and those relationships and the care and the thought. And how can he go open up a shop where his shoes are going to be like $70 when you could buy it on Amazon for $40, right? And you might say, well, Ant, that's a big discrepancy. So let's kind of pull it back. His shoes are $55, $60, and on Amazon, they're $40. So he does his mathematics and he says, wow, I'm priced out of the market. I can never even open that company. But what he's not pricing in is that the community would always prefer to buy the $55 shoe from the really, really nice man or woman that is a pillar of the community that's very well liked, that goes to the board meetings, etc., than to buy from some nameless Wall Street company just because they were put in front of them. Meaning that shoe company that has no chance of even coming to existence today is now going to blossom because of what we're doing. And a lot of people have given me pushback over the 20-mile radius. First, I want to go ahead and say, and this isn't to say anyone doesn't know this, but I do believe 100% of people don't know this. Radius is only from your point to the circle, right? Diameter is the entire circle, meaning radius times 2 is diameter. So when we say 20-mile radius, you have 40 miles of location to search, because you have 20 miles to the right and 20 miles to the left, 20 miles to the front and 20 miles from the back. Now chop chop, right? Like we all, so for those that don't know that and say, and 20 miles is difficult, it's really 40 miles. But 20 miles radius is the correct vernacular to say 40-mile diameter. To those that know that is the incorrect vernacular. So I want to explain that so I can uplift all of us in our understanding rather than play to an audience that might not know the correct vernacular. That being said, that's what Rhino Street's able to do. That's what it's designed to do. So for those that have take a little issue with the 20 miles, the issue that I have received most is, Anthony, you can't really search thing. You know, what if somebody wants to search my company outside of 20 miles radius? And what if I want my company to be searched outside of 20-mile radius? Both great points. So 2 things I want to say to that. One, and this isn't vicious. No, that's not the right word. But this isn't denigrating or dismissive. There are platforms that are very good at marketing you over 20 miles, right? And because there are existing platforms that do that, I've learned in my life, marketing 101, you do not step in a saturated market. For instance, if there was a mall that only sold paper clips, you know what I'm not going to sell, ever going to sell, never, ever, ever going to sell? Paper clips. You know what? Because I can have the best paper clips in the world, but no one's going to buy my paper clips based on the product itself. They're going to walk into that mall and say, who's the cheapest? Who's the most expensive? Who's got the prettiest girl out front? Who has the nicest guy? Who can do something for me? When everyone has the same product, the measurement of the buyer's decision is now based on things outside of the product, which means I would have to calculate those variables, and those variables shift and they're unscalable. So on the premise of marketing 101, I will never compete. I will never knowingly walk into a competition where my opponents are trillion-dollar companies. In fact, we could all have a really great Anthony, but this is our moral imperative. Well, if we die doing it, then nothing gets accomplished, right? So let's get that out the way real quick. But secondly, the thing that doesn't exist, you got to remember what makes Rhino special outside of me and you, right? Outside of the people. We don't charge anyone for anything. We do not have a product we sell. Therefore, we're by all accounts a nonprofit company, meaning when we go into a business model with our lowest priority being a profit because we don't care for it, we can walk into a market that no one else can walk into. There is not a company on the globe, including and especially Wall Street, that can operate as a nonprofit. They can't. By definition, they cannot. Therefore, we can operate in markets that they can't. Again, allows us a moment of no competition. But what allows us the opportunity to do and operate in the market we're going to operate on is how extreme wealth distribution has gotten, how extreme income distribution has gotten, how extreme political power and corporate power have gotten. And what I mean by that is if you're in the 1%, great, good for you. If you're not in the 1%, not great, not good for you. But it's actually that bold, that separating. You're in the 1% or you're not. which means, and sometimes people might say that's hyperbole. So let's back up a little bit. How about the 10%, right? Can we at least agree the top 10% of this nation live very differently than the bottom 90%? In fact, the top 10% own, I think they actually own 90% of the wealth. Yeah. So the top 10% own 90% of the wealth. The bottom 50% own 2. Now, my wife says, Anthony, don't say the bottom because that's dismissed. That doesn't make people feel good. So I have shifted from saying the bottom in emails because just because you're the lower half of the income spectrum, you're not the bottom of anything. So she's right about that. But in terms of just speaking, the bottom 50%, which means 1 out of every 2 people you'll ever meet in your entire life, owns 2%, which means each individual in the bottom 50%, every 1% of them own, what's that come out to? 2 divided by 50, 0.02, right? Every 1% owns 0.02% of the wealth. How about the top 10% that own 90%? That means every percent of the top 10% own 0.9, which means they own, I don't know, like 900 times more per person. And the point being to go ahead and say that their lives are not different, everyone's equal, is complete. You probably should stop watching TV because you're brainwashed. It just doesn't work that way. You can never tell me that somebody with 900 times more money than someone else lives the same life or cares about the same stuff. They may say it, like for instance, all the elite people, they care about climate change. You really think they care about, in fact, if you go ahead and extend that a little further, why do they care about climate change? Well, who does climate change initiatives hurt? They hurt the bottom 90% or the bottom 50% at least, because you have less jobs in the manufacturing field and the factories, and the price of things move up, like whether you have to buy solar power and whether gas prices go up because you're importing less of it. That doesn't affect them. It affects everyone else. For this nation to become completely green, it is the people that spend a certain amount on energy costs that are going to be hurt the most. Anthony, everyone spends on energy. Yeah, I know. But what percentage of your income is what you spend on energy versus what percentage of their income is spent on energy? Therefore, they're not hurt in the transition. But take it a step further. Who lives in the really big houses on the shore? In fact, if polar ice caps are melting, guess what houses disappear? The shore, because the water levels raise and they come onto the shore and allow more of the country to go underwater. Well, Anthony, that's a little bit far. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it's wrong to be against the United States going underwater. No, that's correct. But in their lifetime, in their future's lifetime, in the next generation and the next generation, they actually face a real concern that if that water level comes in 5 feet, that their house is no longer viable. Or how about, well, if you're going to do all these different things and you're going to lower the income or you're going to raise the prices on people that have blue collar jobs, well, conceivably, they can't really procreate as much. If you can't survive on your salary as is, well, then it certainly stands to reason you can't survive on having a kid. But you know what? Your family, you're going to make it work. You're certainly not going to have 2. You know what? You wanted 2. You're definitely not going to have 3, right? So the point is, if you lower the procreation of those that are at the lower scale through income, and you keep consistent the procreation of those on the top scale, what you then see is larger gain of wealth in percentage of a nation. So my point is, you could agree with me or not on that, but I know rich people, they don't actually they care about what they're doing. They don't walk around and say, all right, you know what? In 50 years, this is going to happen. We better start. No. all of their stuff is the stuff that's affected by it. So the point being that when there's such a disparity, it stands to reason that the bottom, and I'm saying it again, the bottom 90%, right, have a vehicle that serves their needs. So when you're in a community and you're community centric and your goals, whether your goals are to become global or not, that's what Rhino Street does. We're the 1.0 for you. We're the stepping stone for you. So for those that say, Ant, we need to have it over 20 miles, well, I retort and I say to you two things. One is harsh. If your business was so great and could go global, it would, because this entire COVID gave everyone's business the opportunity to get online and to grow, right? So that's a little harsh, and I don't want individual retorts to that. That's a broad statement to a broad audience. That's not individualized for anyone here. If you fit that, great, right? But it's not directed at anyone. But secondly, if your business should go global or national, don't you think it might behoove you to figure out how to at least go local, right? There are so many things, and Abigail and I were joking about that you're going to learn every single day in the pursuit of allowing a good experience to customers that allow them to become repeat customers. You're going to learn so much from initial launch to dominating, which isn't the right word, but effectively succeeding within your own locality, that before you actually say, okay, we've done as much as we could here, now it's time to grow. There's so much between now and then that for anyone to even think about the whole global thing is childish ambition. And again, that might be a little harsh, but like when you're a child, you're like, I want everything, like Baruka in Willy Wonka. I want the world. I want everything. And again, there are those that could give me individual retorts to that. So it's not individualized. So please don't. But by common just logic, you should succeed locally to then even think about scaling to nationally, to even think about scaling globally. So if Rhino Street can go ahead and effectively lower or eliminate your child naivety, and as a result of that, focus your attention and your direction to step one rather than jumping to step 5, we've achieved our goal. Now, we actually also believe that by achieving your locality, you're going to be rewarded far past than you even believed. Because here's how that works. Your locality is pre-framed to support you. Now, you might say, well, my people around me don't like me because I'm a mean person at home. Well, that's a problem, right? So maybe you should do something that's a bit of an outreach. But short of the bullies on this live right now, your neighbors are going to know you as the nice person, fill in the blank, right? You're the nice person that works at the grocery store. You're the nice person that goes to the softball games. You're the nice person that contributes to the food drives and the charity functions for the schools. You're the nice person who has that nice son who is also babysits, right? You're that nice person that has the daughter that is the cutest little cheerleader and she does the flips in the air. You're the nice person, fill in the blank. Meaning, to those people, they actually know you. Not only do they know you, but they know where you live. And that's not meant to be like they're going to come to your door. Maybe they will. But they know that they can trust you, because for you to take advantage of them, you have to publicly be saying, I'm a bad person. I know by doing this, all of y'all are going to find out. And I want to live as a pariah within my own community. And most people don't have that goal. And most people are smart enough to be able to prevent that from happening. Most people, when it comes to their family and their friends, they're not going to take advantage of them. So when your neighbor calculates all of that and they see you have an offering, they're going to at least look at it. In fact, your neighbor might just be nosy. Like, I look out my windows and try to look at my neighbor's windows all the time. And my wife is like, why are you doing that? I'm like, I just want to see what they're doing. Like, see what I do all day. I leave my windows open. And maybe they're just nosy. Maybe they had a crush on you in school and they're like, oh, let's see what Ted's doing today. What's his business doing? Maybe a neighbor that wanted to talk to you is going to just become a customer because they want to be around you. Maybe. All of the possibilities that are possible by allowing that calculation to actually work within your own community happen. And maybe, like for instance, when you go ahead and do Facebook ads and stuff, and you're like, oh, I want to go sell my stuff nationally, you're competing with everyone that knows how to do it better than you. And if you think you're the best at doing it, then you probably wouldn't be here. So the fact that you're here, you get it, right? So, okay, let's say you're, I don't know, top 10%, right? Like, let's say you're top 10%. And you do a Facebook ad and, you know, your ROI is 1.5, which is really good. Most people that do Facebook ads are just praying to break even, and they collect the data and they can turn the people into repeat customers. But let's say you are that top 10% and your ROI is 1.5. For every dollar you spend, you bring in $1.50. You're really good. What do you think your ROI, if you're that good, would be amongst your own community? The difference being on Facebook or whatever national outreach you have, you're trying to sell a product to a stranger that is looking for a reason to not buy it. When you're doing it locally, you're selling your product to a friend or family or to at least an acquaintance that is looking for a reason to buy it. So I don't care what your percentages out there are. I know based on that simple fact that your percentages are going to be better within your own locality. Now, if your percentage is going to be better during your own locality, how many sales do you need to make to change your life? Right? You might be saying, Ant, I want to be global because the globe has a bazillion people. Yeah, everyone wants to be global because it has a bazillion people. So you want to go sell paper clips in a mall that only sells paper clips. Good for you. I think that's a bad idea. I think that if, and while you're doing this global calculation, you're like, okay, if I could make 1,000 sales this year, if I could average like 3 a day, which I know is over 1,000, right? But if I could average 3 a day, that would be really great. Okay, how many people live in your community? 20,000, 70,000, 50,000, 10,000, right? Okay, so how hard would it be for you to get to 1,000? And the people in your community, if they like it, are they going to be prone to purchasing it again? Yes, because they're all going to be using the same search engine. Hopefully, right? If you sell it to someone nationally or globally, they're getting, the second they buy paper clips from you, the Facebook algorithm tells everyone that sells paper clips that you're a paper clip buyer, and then gives them the information, which means the second someone buys from you, everyone else wants to go ahead and make them buy from them. So it's just not a good business model. It's actually like the worst business model ever. And not because it didn't work before, but because it doesn't work anymore. This is the business model that now works because everything's like a pendulum. We've gone so far out in terms of everyone's a stranger, everyone doesn't care about you, they're just selling you stuff, they're taking advantage of your naivety, they're taking advantage of you not knowing behavioral science, they know that you care about BLM and Antifa, so they go ahead and package their ads with dark people in it, like colored people, whatever the phrase is. Like the point is, that's what they're doing. So no one actually cares about you. Locally though, when you buy a product, they do care because you live down the block from them. In fact, if you don't like the product, you're going to share it amongst your community and tell everyone how much garbage the product was. And everyone is not only going to not buy your product, but they're going to know you're a bad person. So it just is different. Now, let's say within the community, someone buys the product. Do you think that person doesn't have brothers, sisters, and family outside of that 20-mile radius? Do you think they don't have Facebook? You think that they don't have people that listen to them? Do you think you couldn't start the most amazing affiliate program amongst the people in your community because they're prone and pre-programmed, not programmed, but pre-framed to want to go ahead and support what you're doing and share it with other people? Right? So the potential of what we're talking about, I'm actually going to say is bigger than anything that even exists. I don't think anything that exists bigger than this. at least the idea, right? So that's what Rhino Street is. Now, how do we move forward from that, right? So I'm taking a look at what I have. I had the commercial, I described the 20-mile radius. So let's just go to the charity function because I want to touch on that next because I'm just going to go down the list. All right. So I'm going to share screen again. All right. So we'll put the commercial down. And I would give you the link for the commercial, but it's just not ready yet. And the new commercials will be on that link. I guess that's not really a reason, like everyone owns this. So I'll just give you the link. Chat. So I suspect when the video is upgraded and edited, it will be on this link. If it isn't, I'm not doing that purposely. I just believe it's going to be here. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't be. Okay. So let's go to Rhino Street. Actually, you know what? Let me do something first. So let's do an incognito screen. And let's go, oh, come on. Let's go to Rhino Street. I want everyone to see this. Rhino Street would like to use your location. Oh, come on. Because it's now pushed live. You have to allow your location. I don't want to allow that. All right. Well, then give me your zip code. And this is where you can go ahead and type in the zip code of somewhere you want to search, right? So again, we only have 58 businesses on this and we're updating all of the zip codes. So I can't, I think 07701 is the one we're using by default. So I'll submit that. And let me just type in A and you see businesses come up, right? So you can actually then go load more and it'll continue. So I believe this is where they all are by default, 07701. But let's go ahead and X out of that and do Rhino Street. We have to do this again, don't allow. How about zip code? I don't know, 00229. See, same thing, but the results weren't found because there's no business around that zip code. But if I lived in that zip code and I want to search that zip code, conceivably I would have wrote something other than A. I would have wrote like pizza shop or something. No results were found. Would you like to be that search result? Wow, I would love to be that pizza shop. Grow your business, support your community. We built the only search engine made for local. So actually I need to change this copy because the copy that it should be, so let's go to Rhino Street. The copy it should be is become a search result. This, Rhino Street, introduce us. List your business or recommend your favorite business. All users within 20 miles of you want to hear about you. Want to list your business? Great. We can't wait to meet you. Want to suggest your favorite business? Super great. We can't wait to meet them too. So you would do the business you want to recommend. This is all of their information. And then referred by someone, is that you? Then put your name here. So I'm going to change this because I want to put your email so we can actually get back in touch with you. So maybe I'll put, write your email here or something. But this is what that's going to look like. Meaning, if you go search within your own community and don't come up with that result, and you're like, pizza shop, oh man, Marcy's Pizza Shop isn't on this site. It's the best. Everyone in this community has to go to this pizza shop. All right, Marcy Smith, this is her email, this is her phone number, this is the business name, there's a business website, this is the address, which actually we have to change this because it has to prompt you for zip code, duh, right? Tell us a little bit about that business. I think I just got to change all this, but here's the point, right? And it was referred to by you. So then when we get that information from you, we're going to go call Marcy because you're going to put her phone number. Hey, Marcy, you've been referred by James. He says you're the best pizza in town. We'd like the opportunity to go ahead and list you on Rhino Street. Rhino Street searches all businesses within 20 miles. So the people that will be searching that will find your listing are people that are local to you that are looking for the best pizza in town. Is that okay with you? What do you think Marcy's going to say? My point being, this is the road, this is the path, and everything I just said to you will scale, right? We'll do this automated and all the rest of it. We'll scale to growing, which means every person that's on Rhino Street exponentially grows to the next person, to the next person, to the next person, to the until it just whoosh. Because people in community are all going to say yes. And then what do you think Marcy's going to say to people that say, hey, Marcy, how do I find you? Well, here's our website, or go on Rhino Street and type in my name. It'll come up right away. What's Rhino Street? It's really great. It actually goes ahead and supports all the local businesses, no Wall Street companies, and only businesses within a 20-mile radius. I think everyone should search it because it allows all of us to grow together. Oh, well, that's great. Sounds amazing. So that's Rhino Street, right? So let me exit of this. What's the next thing I want to do? Oh, so, okay, cool. Detail our 3 new hires. And I know I'm going to go over by like a lot. This will probably go for another half hour. So sorry about that. That damn Abigail, she never shuts up. Okay. So because Abigail is moving on, we need to fill her shoes, which are very large shoes. Abigail did a lot. So I constantly get emails from people that keep us honest. And I ask for this, right? So this isn't people nagging. This is people doing their job as a Rhino. They'll email me and say, hey, Aunt, I haven't heard from Abigail. She didn't get back to me. Whatever the challenge is. And then I go ahead and get through to Abigail and say, we need to do this, this, and this. And she'll say, okay, I'm currently doing this stuff. Please let the person know I could get back to them in X amount of time, in which case I've already told the person she's gonna get back to you today, because everyone that knows me knows whatever Abigail or whatever anyone says, I told them you're gonna get back to them today. So you just have to. And that's the way that works, right? Because as much as anyone's passionate for anything, Rhino is my passion. And you can ask my wife, Rhino is, I think you like Rhino, okay? Point of the story is Rhino. So in filling Abigail's shoes, now to go ahead and share. So when we brought Abigail on, we were still working with Rick. And Rick is amazing, right? Like I've always said to Rick, if you were organized and had discipline, you could be Mark Zuckerberg. And he would take that sentence and strive to reach that goal, and then inevitably celebrate a little early. And I'm not going to describe that any further. Those that know Rick know what I mean. So I had mentioned to him, hey, listen, what if we hired a personal assistant for you? And we're going to make sure she's talented in a whole bunch of skills so that she can help you where you need help. But her main objective is going to be to plan your calendar and to be the liaison between you and your team. I go, it's going to free you probably 3 or 4 hours a day. And Rick, what would you do with those 3 or 4 hours? Do you think you could really move your business forward? He goes, oh my God, if I got 4 more hours a day, then I could just sit there and think, I would be amazing. And I go, I know you would. So I want to do this for you. And I mentioned a salary, and the salary was much higher than he ever wanted to do. I go, listen, if you do not want to continue down this road after 2 months, I'll take on the salary. And he goes, okay. So I was so sure that she was going to be so great that I put my neck out there to accept a pretty high salary. And we've since raised it 4 times. And just to give you a little more, she was up for a raise next month. So it's not that she left because she wanted to leave or that we pushed her out. Her community really means that much to her. So much so that she forfeited her really high salary and the raise to go ahead and do what she's doing. So when she had shared this with us, knowing all of that, I automatically knew where her heart was, and we'll support her any way we can. The point being, as we've evolved, now we can evolve very easily through words, right? I could want to do this, and now I want to do this, now I want to do this, now I want to do this. I can be creative. What Abigail allowed me to do is to dream, because anything that I said was never too far from her skill set and or never too far from her ability to learn it. So I could just, it freed me to dream and think about how much we've done over the last year. But there is a point where the skill set needed has outgrown the person. So all in all, I think it just happened at a perfect time, because the further skill sets we need are developers, like super duper duper people that know how to write code and just write code, where I can really dream, where I can say, okay, with the search engine, I want to go have a maps portion, and I want to have images, I want to have shops, I want to have charity on it. I need these built out. I want it to look like this. Can you do that? Yeah, okay. I want a Rhino app. This Rhino app needs to go ahead and be functional to go ahead and transact the coin. It needs to be functional where it allows people's businesses to be managed. The business on Rhino Street gets to be managed from your Rhino app. It has to have the affiliate program. Let's code our own, because we have no success getting one that allows your own app to send it to someone, and it rewards you in coin immediately, and it allows you to buy and sell it, and could put buy limits and sell limits on it. Okay, and we need the payment system, right? Because every company that gets on Rhino Street needs to be able to go ahead and collect payment and facilitate it and coin, but redeem it immediately so that the coin's volume hits over here, and we need all of that done. That's what the interview process looked like. Now, granted, I didn't say all that. No, I said all that, but it was framed a little bit better. But the team that's coming on was hired on the premise, on the assurance that these are the things that are within their wheelhouse. Now, I didn't take anyone's word for it. I looked at their work, I read their code. So in place of Abigail, we have hired 3 developers, and they're all quite expensive. And my wife is like, Anthony, do you know how high your payroll is going to go? I go, yeah, but the Rhino community has purchased the coin. I've always said that the money that comes into the coin exactly funds everything we're doing. So the money that's here is not my money. I have to be the steward of it. I have to be the arbiter. I have to be the leader of it. So that money needs to go where it needs to go for everyone's investment to blossom. So it's funny, because if the money was out of my own pocket, right, like it was my bank account, I really feel personally tied to it. And I know that sounds silly, because Anthony, you just said Rhino's your life. Yeah, but I'm tied to the growth and the vision of Rhino, not the Rhino bank account. The Rhino bank account just needs to fund that, but that's what I'm looking for. So starting Monday, Stephen, Ralph, and John will be collaborating with Ashut, who is our current developer in Armenia. Every Monday from 12 to 2, we will have a team meeting where this is like, I can't even tell you, like the greatest minds, where I'm going to be able to host this meeting and share all of the ideas I have, all the ideas that come to me. It's going to allow me to dream out loud, right? Dream loudly. And everyone's going to collaborate and say, this is how this could get done. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. In fact, their salaries are incentivized. That search engine, mobile app, payment system, that their salaries increase upon the completion of these projects. In fact, each one of them is going to receive 1 million coin after 90 days of successful hire, right? Like everyone is highly, highly incentivized to do everything that we want to do. So they start Monday. So I want to share that with you. All right. Rhino Street, Rhino app, Rhino coin. I think I just said that. Share our like, oh my God. So Salesforce. So in the pursuit of our dream together, it's going to require a massive amount of data collection. But not only data collection, but data repurposing. And what I mean by that is, if I travel to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I meet people that then subsequently join Rhino, I want to know where I met them. I want to know the time of day I met them. I want to know what they had for lunch that day. I want to know what their hopes, dreams, and concerns are. I want to know all of it. And in knowing all of it, I want that to be stored somewhere, so that when we go ahead and do our outreaches, It could be, hey, blank, remember, who can forget meeting at blank time and having that blank thing to eat? It was amazing, right? We could fill in the variables. I know your concern has always been blank and your dreams have been blank, and I really believe that we're going to be able to achieve it together. And love your blank colored car, right? So my point is, that's an example, but we're going to really be able to get high level with it. In fact, we have the Salesforce super duper duper program. In fact, you can't even get it. It's not on the website. You can ask my wife. My meetings with them have been 3 so far. There was 9 people, a department head from each department in those meetings. I have another meeting with them tomorrow, 12 to 1:30. This platform is going to cost a lot of money, but we actually have Salesforce engineers that are going to be contracted to work with us in building everything. So for instance, an email journey path, right? Upon this trigger, this person enters this, make them wait 1 day, then they're going to get this email. If they open it between days 1 and 2, they get this email. If they open it between days 3 and 4, they get this email. If they don't open it, they get this email, or in fact, they get this, we push out this social media ad to their email immediately from there. And then once they do that, they go here, they go here. So where each individual person is going to have over 20 different, pick your ending goosebump books, remember? Like if they do this, then this happens. If they do this, this happens. If they do this. The point being, there's not going to be a single person that ever comes into Rhino that's not going to be personally handheld via this incredible AI journey that we'll be making. And that journey is going to include emails, phone calls, direct outreaches, DMs, social ads, welcomes, forms. And if they're not done at a certain time, it's a living, breathing organism, which is going to be that. Because what we need to do, like we shared before, and I told them, our goal is right now, the degrees of separation between you knowing Rhino and someone you're going to walk and meet on the street knowing Rhino is probably like 1 million, 2 million. Like it would probably take you 1 million people to meet before someone else knows Rhino. Now that's not a bad thing. We have 330 million people in this country. Actually, our degree of separation is lower because that would mean only 330 people, but we have over almost 900. So our degree of separation is probably 1 out of every 300,000-400,000 people in this nation. We want to move that down to 1 out of every 5. Meaning we need to go ahead and every person that joins Rhino, we need to empower them to be able to share it, to be able to broadcast it, to be able to live it, to be able to absorb it, to be able to benefit from it, to be able to be rewarded from it, to be able to be cheered from it. We need to do that, to be able to recommend others to join the platform, whether it's as a Rhino or as a business. We need to do all of that. So when you see what my boards look like, it's this, Lisa, you can ask my wife. In our son's bedroom, there's a whiteboard because some of daddy's son time is son sleeping and daddy doing work, right? Or holding his son doing work. And that's what his whiteboard actually looks like. So when his mother's with him, the whiteboard looks like, fed at 3 p.m., took a nap at 4 p.m. When dad's with him, it looks like entry into Rhino via email through. She's like, Aunt, it looks like the Matrix. And I'm like, well, it is. So that's what we're going to be doing with Salesforce. Now, what that leads into is we were going to start traveling the beginning of April, but with our 3 new key members brought on, with Salesforce being brought on by the end of next week, most likely, it would behoove us that instead of egotistically and ambitiously or purposely misusing the word ambitiously to go ahead and travel the 1st or 2nd week of April, it's not a good idea anymore. So we're going to start traveling the second half of April because we'll have all this in place. in which case I can then go ahead and put the mayors and the assistant mayors and chambers of commerce and everything through these matrices, so that when I go out and visit them, they'll know who I am. I could go from shop to shop to shop to shop. And if anyone thinks I won't go shop to shop to shop, you don't know me. And I can actually easily say that because everyone here knows, yeah, Anthony, he's gonna do it. Like he's gonna go door to door. And I will. And I don't care because that's what I'm doing. So I will be arriving to each town on a Wednesday, and I will be arriving back home on a Sunday. So there's a lot of investment that's actually happening in my own household to be okay with that to begin with. So there's a lot going on, but that's where Rhino travels are going to go. Okay. So I laid out the travel schedule. I need to show you our high converting partnership landing page. Now, for the life of me, and I'm going to say this, and you've heard me say this many times, our affiliates platform is just the biggest headache in the world. So I've tested it today and I've signed myself up 1,000,000 times and it doesn't turn me into a lead. It turns me in just to a viewer, which the viewer is me just going to site. So something's not tracking. And I've been in email to Lead Dino all day, and they're actually, so it's funny when I say they're actually pretty good because Anthony, they haven't got, you haven't been successful with this for months now. I know, but now I'm spearheading it, and there's just differences that happen when the company's speaking, when Lead Dino is speaking to the company owner versus a company employee. So they've been very, very VIP with me. So I actually have full faith, and I know this is really going out on a limb here, that this will be completed and fully trackable, because we spend $300 a month in our affiliate. I know, you're like, Anthony, that's like way too much, especially for this. It feels like I've just been giving money away. But it will be done by Friday. And if it's not done by, well, first of all, it is going to be done by Friday. But if it's not, I know, Anthony, it will. But if it's not, our team is already going to be creating coding, a custom coding, our own affiliate system. So our affiliate system is currently just in transition. I want it to work, but we're going to have our own because that's the caliber of people we're bringing on. So let me just show you what it looks like. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull this up and we'll go to Rhino Street, right? So Rhino Street, we go to Rhino. I love everyone here so much. All right, so we go to partner. And this is, let's copy the link because this is the lander link, right? We'll put it in here. So you're invited. So I finally did a video, right? Like, took forever. Because A, we never had time to make it, but even that's not a good reason. Like, I just always thought affiliate page should be like, okay, hey, get here. I didn't think it would ever be so complicated. But again, we learn something every day. So this is a commentary on my error, right? It's not like I made the mistake and I hopefully solved it. So we're going to watch this video. It's 4 minutes long. And this is where all of your affiliates, everyone that you give your link to goes here.
Welcome. We are all truly grateful that you're here with us today. And thank you for offering us the next couple of minutes of your time. Rhino is a very simple concept. That the true power of people is in a unified population with passion, not individual bank accounts. That there's never been a profitable company without a customer, and there's never been an elected official without a vote. But the top 1% is living like kings, while the rest of us live as their servants. And I think the public has forgotten how much power we all actually possess. If you would allow me 3 questions of you, nothing complicated, I promise you. Do you prefer to support your own Main Street businesses over that of Wall Street companies? And if so, how do you actually search for these Main Street businesses of yours? You see, many people that answer that question, yeah, and I go on Google and I type in local business plus zip code, and that sounds like the correct answer. But here's where that giant light bulb moment occurs. And if you could allow me to rephrase that answer back to you, I think you'll see it as well. Many believe that that searching a for-profit Wall Street-owned search engine is going to list their local Main Street businesses for free ahead of that for-profit search engine's paying customers. You see, Wall Street gives you this free search engine, but it's not really free. You are the product. You are the sales they can sell to their paying customers. And because this is such an unlimited moneymaker for every one of those search engines, none of us has an actual honest option to search our own main streets. Until now, until Rhino Street. We have built the world's first Main Street search engine, and we've accomplished this by engineering using 3 key rules. 1, we have disqualified all Wall Street companies from our search results. 2, a user's search results on the immediate 20 miles from their location. And 3, we welcome every single person, business owner or not, to become a search result by either granting us permission to list their business or accepting their recommendations of a Main Street business they happen to love. In which case, we then just simply call that business for their permission. We have learned that this Rhino Street offering is a very powerful recipe for everyone to buffet. You see, within a year's time, we will be the building blocks of the greatest Main Street renaissance ever. And if instead of starting with a Wall Street's own search engine, people simply started with Rhino Street, people would automatically be reinvesting in everyone's own community rather than having their money vacuumed from their own community. We could all be our own community superheroes by simply searching Rhino Street first. In January 2023, we will be introducing our own payment system with our own coin. Meaning when a business sells a product, it will collect the money and it will automatically be converted into our coin. That business owner can then easily convert it back to cash. The unlimited value being that coin will capture the lifetime growth of Rhino Street, since every single sale is also a buy for the coin. Meaning our coin's value will calculate every Main Street business that recognizes Rhino Street to be a good idea. Not only today, but forever. Below, you will see an opt-in to Rhino. For doing so, your very good friend who invited you will be rewarded 10 coins, and you'll be given 50 coins every month until the total supply of 1 billion runs out. It's important you know no one should ever own our population. And for the first time ever, we have the technology to capture the total value of our population and then simply distribute it back to everyone in our population, like Robin Hood. You matter to all of us, and we need you. Thank you for giving us this time of yours. We all owe you. Click below and allow us to repay. Bye.
All right. So that is the affiliate lander page. I do know it says click below and the click is above it, so we'll fix that. But I feel like, in the words of Abigail, Anthony, this is the most concise video you actually ever made. Like it's very clear. And I was going for that. So that's going to be where your affiliates go. Presuming that they watch that video, I truly think the conversion is going to be quite high. We're also going to use that in our own ads. And remember that matrices that we're going to be building, that will be somewhere in it. The commercial will be somewhere in it. So as you can see, we have the team. Oh my God. Yeah, so actually, Ant, your own link, your affiliate link, which I could just post in here. I don't know whose affiliate link that is. I think that's mine. But if you go to it, you'll have that video. But the point being that matrice that we were talking about, we have a super duper duper development team. And when I say super duper, I'm talking about really high salaries, right? Like this isn't the person that just was on Craigslist. This is, I had to compete for these people. You have that, you have the content, you have the Salesforce executive team working for us. You have me coming up with the ideas. You have you that are constantly contributing. And I think I could say this with the utmost agreement. Every single person that's ever emailed me has always felt that their idea is heard. And those like Anthony, who actually just wrote, remember when he had said, I believe you should have 2 calls to action on our Dear Wall Street video. Oh my God, I forgot we have that video. We're going to use that too. And we did it, right? So everyone is heard. I think that's the recipe. I think by the end of April, we're going to have our first round of meeting people. Now, everyone that takes a look at our balance sheets, our Rhino coin, So let's actually do that, right? Because I do want to go ahead, and I usually don't mention the coin much, but it is getting to the point that's becoming quite a high price. And next week it goes even higher because it goes up a cent every month. And I believe as of now, everyone has enough clarity to see where we're going with this. Now, full disclosure, Rhino has $200,000 in its account, so it can fund the things that we're doing. It could also redeem coin to go ahead and leverage what we're doing even more. It would like to have more money, but the 200,000 gets us through 4 months. And of course, we're going to be meeting people and people face to face. Think about it. I've never met anyone on this live face to face, but everyone has participated with the coin. Imagine actually having the opportunity to sit across from me and believing and having the belief that, wow, I can really put some retirement money. I can put a big chunk. I said to my wife, I guarantee, and don't quote me on that, right? But we're going to have $1 million buyer at least once a month, because there's always that person that's looking for that next idea and trusts what we're doing. And the point is, every time we go to a new place, we're going to have more stuff done to show people. In fact, when we go to a new place and we're able to say, who in here would like their business on Rhino Street? Okay, up, 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 up. Now, who in here would like to go search and see if it's there? Go ahead, done. And as long as we're also implementing an educational indoctrination segment, right? Because we need to actually educate the people why Rhino Street is the solution. And we need to indoctrinate how step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to step 4. Now, what's so great about that is all we need to do is win the point of when someone goes to search something. And by default, everyone go to google.com. Or they have their Chrome browser. Oh, I don't think I mentioned this. We're going to have a Rhino browser. We're going to code our own browser. And that browser, that URL bar is only going to search Rhino Street. So there's so much happening, and it's all going to be happening over the next 2 or 3 months. Anyway, I want to show you the coin because I want people to buy it. And I just think, and I'm not saying that because like we need the money. I'm saying it because I want the money for Rhino. I want to buffer what we have. But let me say this to you. Actually, let me just get to the coin, right? All right. So let's go to the balance sheet. Now, what someone could see is that this has stagnated on 58. So one could say, well, Ant, you haven't really brought in any new businesses. Well, there's a couple of businesses, and some of the Rhinos are on this live that are being completed. And I know there's just some stuff going back and forth. So this will probably go to like 62, 63 by the end of the week. But that's not Ant, all right, it was 58, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, now it's 63, congratulations. You're missing it. Because if that's what you think and that's how you're going to calculate what's going forward, you're miscalculating. What this shows is our organic businesses. Think about what we've had for Rhino other than me talking about it. Not much, because we've gone from 1.0 to 2.0. We've just been sharing a vision that these are the people that are in a position to express their belief in the vision by offering their business to the vision. So this number is actually really, really super duper duper impressive because these people are joining a platform that will not benefit them at all today. In fact, it only will benefit when Rhino Street's actually built. So this measures the belief, the passion, the ultimate, those that know you best are representing what they believe. So in that light, that's really, really good. Now, the number going forward, probably starting over here, is going to represent, hey, Cheryl, Rhino Street allows everyone that searches to search only within their 20 miles, meaning everyone that searches is going to be your neighbor. Would you like to put your pizza shop up? Would you give us that permission? Yeah, of course. And when I go from store to store to store to store to store to store, meeting, kissing babies, talking to people about why Rhino Street matters, and we're not asking them for anything, we're not asking for money, we're asking for their permission to go ahead and send them additional traffic. And the traffic we're sending them is going to be people from their community. Do you think anyone's going to say no? Because I don't. So this number is going to severely start jumping. to 100, 200, 500, right? Now, this number is quite important to this number because this is the annual revenue that Rhino projects amongst the businesses of Rhino. Now, obviously, every new business that comes in is a new Rhino member. And when I go ahead and send, like when we go to a new community, that Saturday, Rhino's throwing a benefit for that community where we're buying a $25 gift from every business in that community, making a basket of it and doing a blind auction of that basket and donating all proceeds to the community. We're going to throw this event. So it might be like 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, whatever. But the point is, everyone in the community is going to actually like Rhino. We're donating to it, we're buying from it, we're allowing people to know the businesses within their community. And then when we leave, we're sending a flyer to everyone. Hey, you must have heard about Rhino by now. We had so much fun with your, meeting everyone. And that link is going to be a designated link. So it'll be Rhino Milwaukee, Rhino, Freehold, whatever. And I'm pretty sure I could buy all those URLs because I don't think there is a Rhino in a town name anywhere currently existing. We're going to put that URL on that flyer. So do you think that person is going to go to it? Of course, it's an easy word to spell, Rhino plus their town, and it's personalized to them. We actually made a URL for their town. And it's going to show pictures. It's going to show pictures of the charity, of the benefit, some quotes from certain people. It's going to be a complete homage to that town. But of course, we're going to be asking for something. Please click below to join your neighbors in being with Rhino. And that's going to bring them into something that's going to bring them here. Right? So we're going to constantly. So my point is, this Rhino member number and this Rhino business number are going to jump like a lot. And we're doing this every week. Well, every other week to start, but every week after June or July. So what does that mean, right? So for those that are new to this balance sheet, these are the weeks that have been completed. Yellow is completed. Green is what we're currently on. This is the traffic on the website, the high traffic of the week, 7,000. We got to 10,000 a couple of weeks ago, but we've since changed the buttons in our email, so it's a little different now. How many people registered for the webinars? We now have 717 people registered to join you today, and we get a good portion of that. Number of Rhino platform members, number of businesses, let's see. Average annual revenue. This assumes that each business makes at least $150 a week, which obviously they do, but we want to just say that out loud. So you're like, whoa, then this is much lower than it should be. Yeah. This is how much they make per week using that same number. This is the members of Rhino, how much coin they own. So Rhino itself owns 50 million coin, and we use this to incentivize new hires, offer packages, allows me to reward people with affiliate stuff, allows me a lot of things, right? Plus we have investors, so when we're done distributing all of it, that'll get chopped up amongst the percentage own of Rhino that they have, right? So after 50 million is all the coin that you own for, I don't want to use the word free, that you've earned by being a Rhino member. So 50 million, 160,350. So 160,350 coin have been just distributed, given out to everyone, which increases every single day, which increases every single month, because every month it's 50 new. Every single day, new members come on, so that number jumps. This is a number of coin purchased by investors. And investor is defined as members of Rhino that purchase additional coin. So I'm going to show you how to do that, in which case you would be contributing to this number. 32,448,000 coin has been purchased by those that know the platform the most and understand what we're doing and believe in what we're doing. These people have gotten the coin at 1.5 cents, 2 cents, 3 cents, currently 4 cents. Actually, this starts 5 cents. So next week is the last week for 4 cents. and then it jumps to 5 cents. So the coin will be going up 25% in value by the end of next week, which is why we're going to do a little push for you to participate in that today. Also, you can transact the coin, right? So there are some people that buy the coin and then a couple of months later they sell their cost, right? Oh, I bought $100 worth of coin at 2 cents. Now at 4 cents, I have $200 worth of coin. I like to sell half my coin, take my $100 back, and now I just own this coin going forward at the end of it for free, right? Just a 2-month holding time. So people do that, and we allow that. In fact, before I just say that out loud, let me show you where. To sell your Rhino coin, same page, fill this out. This comes directly to me. And for those that have sold coin before, they know that this works. For those that are scheduled to sell coin, I know we have a schedule in May, another person in August. And those that have sold coin before have all collected the money same day. We use Zelle, PayPal, or Wire, depending on the amount you do. So it's right here, right? Okay. So what does this show? So when we calculate all of this, we get to this green line, which is January 2023. And what that represents is the day that Rhino coin goes public. It's released, it's on the platform, it's on Coinbase, it's on Binance, it's on Bitfinex, whatever. And right now that's projected to be 54 cents. Now that's much lower than it's formerly been projected, but that's because this month we have not been doing as much of an outreach to bring on members. As you saw, we haven't been providing much new businesses because we've been building the next step. So if you understand where we're going, I'm going to show you what those numbers look like. So as of now, we run out of Rhino coin about 2 months, so like March 2023. And then this green line is January 2024. And at that point, just at the current levels we're at, the Rhino coin is projected to be $3,868. So if you buy it for 4 cents today, and you see what I'm talking about, and you understand what we're doing, it's kind of like the best moment to ever do anything in your life. Well, investment-wise. Best moment to have a kid? Now. Well, in 10 minutes, because you're here, and then go procreate like little bunnies. But before you do that, and I've never had a live where well, whatever. Anyway, so let me show you how important these numbers are. So this is the members, this is the businesses, this is the annual projected revenue at 150 a week. This is the weekly, blah, 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 blah. So right now, you see this is 54 cents, right? You see it, you see it, you see it. 54 cents, 54 cents. Please remember that number, 54 cents, okay? We're gonna do a little magic. So Anthony starts traveling over here, right? Okay. So Anthony started traveling, and by that point, and all the email sequencing and the development team is working beautifully, and the Salesforce team, it's just everything is going the way it's supposed to go, right? So instead of 1,732, which we're currently projected to be at, all these new things, let's say we're double that. Let's say we're at 3,500, right? Well, this number is 7.7% of this number, because that's how our businesses have proven to be. That about 7.7% of the members that join also have businesses they put on. Now, of course, this is going to represent businesses that you're able to recommend too, not even your own business you can recommend. And if you want to start your own business, we're going to have a funnel system to go do that as well. Plus, we're going to each town and signing up each business one by one, which means this number is completely under. So let's say we double that number too. Let's say this number is really 540, right? Okay. So we'd have to double all of this. All right, so hold on a second. So let's say, okay, this number is really, so double 0.077 is 0.15, right? Right, okay. So let's go ahead and copy that. And I'm going to change this back, by the way. I'm just doing it for the purposes of this example. Let's bring it always over there. Okay. So we have 3,500 members. We have 525 businesses on by then. Cool. Actually, you know what? Let's do 0.13. Just because it's going to be just the start of it. So let's be a little bit more. Okay. So those are those numbers. Now, you remember what that number was January 2023 when it goes public, what the projections projected to be 54 cents. Let's go see what it is now. $2.04. So my point is, these numbers are going to change significantly. And if we go ahead and pull this all the ways down, now hold on a sec. Let's copy. You're now looking at a coin number of 26,000, and that's not even doubling this. So say this ends up becoming 250,000, right? 21,000. Did I do something wrong? Right, so, oh, okay, I see what I did. So let's go, so 26,000. So let's go ahead and undo some stuff. Okay, back to 50. Oh. Okay, back to 54 cents. So we're back to where it began. The point being, it's today 4 cents. So even if worst case scenario happens and we simply just grow the way we've been growing, it's going to be 54 cents, which is 11 times, no, which is 12 and a half times your money today in what, like 8 months? And $3,800 in 20 months from now, which is a really, really good return. But if we even do a tenth of what we're looking to do, I mean, you're talking about, imagine if this really just spreads like we know it's going to. Imagine if we get to a point of scale where small businesses simply say, of course I'm going on Rhino Street. That's where I go. Wait till Rhino becomes part of the vernacular of the country. Wait till our commercial is airing on TVs, airing on all of our different news networks. Wait till Anthony is being interviewed in New York Times. Because the beautiful thing about what we're doing, whether we succeed or fail, okay. But if we succeed, we're doing it by doing something so different than it's ever been done. We're literally saving and rescuing an entire 90% of the world. So if we succeed, we're going to succeed very, very largely. And if we fail, we fail. So nothing's ever guaranteed in life, right? Nothing, except for death and taxes, which actually is a funny like combination, but they really are the only two things guaranteed. So that's Rhino projections, and that's how the numbers calculate. So how do you actually get the coin? So you could get coin. So when you go ahead and click get coin, I'm going to put this in the chat because I want everyone that wants to participate to actually be able to. So I'll give you a second to click that. And then we'll let everyone go. So as you can see, January 2 cents, February 3 cents, March 4 cents, April 5 cents. So that's what you're buying or investing in. And the way you do that is in $100 increments. So you put your quantity. So let's do a little math. It's currently March. The coin is 4 cents. If I want to buy $100 of coin at 4 cents, I'm going to receive, I need a calculator. I think it comes out to 44,000, right? 2,500 coin, because 4 goes into 100, 25 times $100, 2,500, right? Great. I got the calculator because I was like, I need to get this correct because we're going to send out this live to everyone, right? All right. But the point being, so $100, the coin goes up 1 cent next month, which is 25%. 1 cent to 4 cents is 25%. Meaning this $100 is now worth $125, right? And the next month is 6 cents, which is 2 cents higher than 4 cents. And 2 cents is 50% of 4 cents, meaning 2 months from now, it's worth $150, right? So it goes up and up and up, and you're able to always sell it back to me. And you're always able to hold it, which you really should be doing, for when it hits the market, because that's where the big money comes. So let's say, for instance, really? The link isn't working. I'm on it. Let me see. Can someone else confirm that? Because I'm getting it to work. So let me go ahead and go incognito over here. Yeah, oh. No, it's a 0. That last character is a 0. Rhino with a 0. But if you just simply copy and paste it, because I copy and pasted it into an incognito window and it worked. So I think it might be your computer, but if someone else says it's not working, we'll troubleshoot this. But all right, so say we get to quantity and say we want to buy, I don't know, like 1,000 worth, right? Okay, so 1,000 is 10 quantity of 100, right? 10 times 100 is 1,000. So let's go ahead and put the 0 in to equal 10. And then we go to purchase. Now, obviously that says 161 because I've done examples before, but you could just change that number. So 10 times 100 equals 1,000, right? So you go to checkout. Now you put in your shipping details. Now this is being emailed to you. So your shipping details is just to corroborate your banking details because you're going to use a card. So whatever address is on that card is what you want to put as your shipping details. I'm trying to pull something up real quick. Okay. All right. So your shipping details is that. You go to continue, which obviously you have to put stuff in. When you go to continue, it's delivery. I guess I'll just do this. No, you Momo. Why are you doing this to me? All right. My address is 11. My city is 07728. Country, state, New Jersey. Oh, duh. My city is Freehold. Shows how much I know. 07728. My phone number is blah, 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 blah. Okay, so continue. Shipping details, which is the funny part because it's being emailed to you. So I would like to offer everyone to express ship and really splurge. It's an automated email. It comes to you right away. In fact, every first of the month, everyone receives their certificates, which goes ahead and has updated your Rhino coin because again, we're giving everyone 50 coin per month, plus the coin that you purchase. And if you invest in more and more and more, you will always have an updated certificate, which has our seal, your name, the amount of coin, my signature, and the price of the coin. So you always have that. And of course we have that as well, right? So let's go express. Now you're going to enter your banking information, your card, whatever you want to do. And of course, I'm not going to do that live. So continue, you go to review and place order, and then you're done. So immediately you'll get a welcome from Rhino. You'll get an invoice from Stripe, which is one of our corporate not sponsors, but one of our corporate partners, I guess, because we use their corporate package. And then the first of the month, you will get your certificate every first of the month. So that is how that works. So I got rid of the share. I think that's it, guys. Also, Rhino Host is doing such a fantastic job every day going over the SBA actual tutorials, their actual program. So she's always, every time I see her, she's like, Aunt, I know everything about the SBA. And she doesn't say that, but I have a good understanding, but I know I could always learn more. And she's just, guys, I cannot stress enough the importance of having access to someone that actually knows every SBA practice. So seriously, join her lives. It's, you have the schedule. But after this month, I think what we're going to do is in filling the hole left in Abigail's departure. Obviously, we have the developer team filling in that stuff. But in terms of access and having immediate access to someone, our Rhino host has been doing that. So we're going to empower her to do that a little bit more, in which case we're going to go ahead and decrease the regularity of the lives during the week. And we're going to replace that with outreach. So as people enter our Salesforce system, there's going to be people that express an interest or cease at a certain point or could get a phone call. And our Rhino host is going to be that person who's going to be the Swiss Army knife of Rhino Concierge. And everyone remembers Rhino Concierge. They were amazing. But things move on. But we want to go ahead and reestablish Rhino Concierge. So in empowering our Rhino hosts to know SBA, to know our rhinos, to go ahead and outreach to rhinos, and to go ahead and decrease her lives, maybe from, I think it's currently 5 days a week. We'll probably lower it to maybe just Monday and Friday, or maybe Friday and Saturday, actually. Because, I don't know, definitely Saturday, and then one day during the week, maybe Tuesday. People like Tuesday for some reason, I don't know. But whatever, we'll lower that to 2 days, and the rest of that position will be outreach. So I can't imagine a more qualified person or more trusted hands to entrust our rhinos to. So basically what you're going to see here is that whether you want to or not, we're going to make you rich. And whether you want to or not, we're going to make you successful. And that's my goal. And if I have to do it with you kicking and screaming, I don't actually care. Because I know everyone's going to be better off for it. That's how much I believe in what we're doing. So I'm going to leave it there. I love all of you. I went 48 minutes over, but not that you can see what I can see, but %78 of the people at our peak are still on now. So for those that are looking for new metrics to guide what they believe Rhino is going to be, when you go 49 minutes over and 78% stay with you, you're doing something that touches the hearts and minds of people. So let's leave it there. I'm going to get skedaddling. No, please, Deborah, my time is your time. So thank you for allowing me to present. I want to do 2 more things today. I'm gonna do those 2 things. And then I'm gonna go home and finally eat. I had a little bit of breakfast, but I miss my family and I want to get home. So I love all of you. Oh, hey, love you. Thank you. I love everyone. And I will be on next Wednesday. Between now and then, you will have our Rhino host till Saturday or every day of that. The one in Facebook is in my article. Oh, Don, email me whatever article and I'll go ahead and put it in our email tomorrow so everyone could view it as well. All right, guys, love you. And everyone that knows me knows I actually really do. So thank you for allowing me to live my dream and allowing me to steward yours. And I promise you we're going to get there. All right, bye guys.